السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. أهلا بكم أبنائي وبناتي طلاب الصف الخامس. Today إن شاء الله we are going to start our science curriculum for the second term. My dear students, we are going to study what? Theme 3. Theme 3 is the first theme in this curriculum, which is called Protecting Our Planet. And Unit 3 will be natural resources. The word natural resource is a big word which has a big meaning, and we are going to study natural resource on Earth's surface. Let's start with what you know about water. Water, my dear students, is one of the natural resources which is found on Earth. And it's a very important resource which help the living organism to survive. How the water help living organism to survive? Look at this picture. People can use water for drinking. Also for what? For cooking. And also for bathing. Look at these pictures, my dear students. You can find water in each of them, okay? You can find water, in planting, for drinking, for cleaning, and so on. This for people. What about animals? Animals and plants need water also to survive. So, water is one of the most important natural resource. It's a very important natural resource for all living organisms. Okay? What about water? Water can be found in fresh water and salty water. Fresh water resource like what? Like the rivers, like the streams, like the pond. These resources decreases gradually. The width of the river decrease, my dear students, and the amount of water decrease. Why it decreases? That's because climate change. The changes which takes place in the atmosphere, and also pollution, which is caused by the human, and finally the water waste. So all of these are fresh water resources. These resources decreases by climate change, pollution, and water waste. This water decrease and we drink the fresh water. So what will happen if this will disappear? Of course, we will die. So humans recycle this wastewater to use it and to conserve the fresh water. To use it for what? For showering, for agriculture, for many purposes. But we must recycle the wastewater to reuse it again. And this water used for washing, showering, and so on. And also the irrigation of farm. So if it decrease and wasted or polluted, we must re-clean it and recycle this water. Of course, my dear students, one of the most famous and the largest water treatment plant in the world, not only Egypt, is بحر البقر wastewater treatment plant. This wastewater treatment plant is one of the largest one in the world and Egypt, which used to what? To recycle and clean the used water to irrigate, for farming, for washing, not of course for drinking, but so we can reuse use it again. Okay? Let's see and start our concept 3.1, which is talk about biosphere and hydrosphere interaction. What's biosphere? And also the word hydrosphere is a new vocab which we will study in this concept, inshallah. Firstly, can you explain why the earth is a complex system? Yeah, that's our planet earth. And the earth from the space, my dear student, you can see it at this picture. Yes, the sun, and this is the earth, and this is the vast universe. Okay, earth, my dear student, is a complex system, and this system include living organisms. Yeah, you can find living organisms, plant, human, animal, and so on. And non-living things. Yeah, of course, all of these found on Earth. And the living organisms and non-living things interact with each other. Yeah, so it's a complex. It's not a simple system. Yeah, and scientists classified this system or this complex system with the things on it into four main systems. Yeah, so Earth generally is a complex system, consists of four main systems. These systems are called geosphere, atmosphere, hydrosphere, biosphere. All of these, my dear student, call the Earth's sphere, which four components of the Earth's complex system. These new words, but what the meaning of each of them? Let's start with geosphere. Geosphere consists of two parts. The first called geo and the second called sphere. Why sphere in each of these words? Geo, bio, hydro, atmosphere. That's because what? This, the shape of the earth, it's sphere and it's not rounded at all. So this word takes the suffix with sphere. Okay, let's talk about the first part of the word, which is geo. Geo, yeah, it's the system that includes what? It includes rocks on earth. All of the rocks, we can say that they belong to what? Belong to the geosphere. Yeah, and these rocks on the earth's crust. Then the molten rock, also it's a rock, but it's in a liquid state. These molten rocks and the heavy metals, we can find them here, yeah, under the earth's crust. So under the earth's crust, we can find the geosphere. And on the earth's crust, we can find the geosphere. What the name of under the earth's crust? Of course, molten rocks. And on the earth's crust, yeah, it's called a solid rocks. All of these are geosphere. Okay, what about atmosphere? Again, consists of two parts. The word of two parts. The first is atmo, yeah, and the second is a sphere. And the atmosphere is the system that composed of mixture of some gases. Yeah, these gases can found in a layer which surround what? Surround the earth and called atmosphere, which maybe combine nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, and finally water vapor. All of these, my dear student, called atmosphere. Okay, let's move to the next sphere in the earth, or the, what? The hydrosphere. Also the words hydro and sphere. Hydro, the system that includes all water on earth. Yeah, all water on earth, whatever its type, whatever its state, it's called hydrosphere. Like what? The fresh water, salt water, and so on. Finally, my dear students, yeah, this system which me and you belong, which is called the biosphere. Biosphere is a system that includes all living organisms, such as what? Microorganisms, plants, animals, humans, and so on. So, human, animals, plant, all of these called biosphere. Okay, now we know that Earth consists of four main systems which called biosphere, geosphere, hydrosphere, and bio and atmosphere. Okay, let's move to the next activity, which is called water's impact on living organisms. How the water affect on the living organism. The word impact, like the effect or how it affect on the living organism. We said that living organism means biosphere and the water means hydrosphere. So all living organisms in the biosphere, all living organisms in the biosphere interact with, interact with what? Interact with the hydrosphere or the water. How these interact with each other. My dear students, human and animals drink water. Yeah, so human and animals are living organisms. Yeah, which are biosphere, and they drink water. Water is hydrosphere, so there's interaction between biosphere and hydrosphere. Also, some animals and plants drink water and live in water. So they live. So it's interaction between what and what? Between the biosphere and the hydrosphere. Yeah, water which they live is what is hydrosphere. Okay, look also at this picture. What can you see? There is like a trace of water. Yeah, that there was a water, but this water dry up. And there is also a rock. And here also, there was a river or a stream moving here. And the water dry up. But the shape of the earth or the soil changed. Why? That's due to what? Due to water. Water can cause weathering and erosion of rocks on the Earth's surface. Do you remember weathering and erosion? Yeah, weathering, my dear students, means breaking down of rocks into small particles, maybe by the wind, maybe by the rain, maybe by temperature changing or the root of plant All of these cause weathering, which means breaking down of rocks. No one can hammer this rock, but simply water beat down the rocks in this picture. So there is interaction between what? Look, water of the sea represent the hydrosphere and the rock represent the biosphere. Now let's move to the meaning of erosion. What's meant by erosion? Erosion, the transportation of what? Of the small particles of rock to another place by water or wind. So that's my dear student, erosion. Erosion, transportation of small particles of rock to another place, from one place to another by wind or water. So there is interaction between what and what? Water, hydrosphere. Rocks represent the geosphere. So all of these interaction between the spheres. Now let's move to the third activity, which is called the importance of water for life on Earth. Is it water important? We previously said that water is important for living organisms to drink and survive. Yeah, and also water is important for some animal and plant to live in it. Now, let's see. There are many resources of water on Earth, like river, lakes, ocean, and underground. All of these called resources of water. Okay, and my dear students, about 3 over 4 or 3/4 or 71% of the earth is covered by water. So our planet, if you look at from space, you can see it as a blue marble from a space. Yeah, that's a blue marble due to the high percentage of water on Earth. What about the total amount for we use water, water evaporate, and we drink water, and we waste water. Even the total amount still, 71%, and doesn't it change? Of course, my dear student, the percentage doesn't change. It's still 71%. Okay, and no change in the percentage of water on Earth. Okay, let's move to another activity to prove it. Water can change from a liquid to what? To a solid, or from a gas, from a liquid to a gas. But in all these cases, the water is still constant and doesn't change. So water bodied on the earth, it changes from liquid to solid. Okay. Also, it changes from liquid to gas, but the amount still as it is, doesn't change. Okay. And also, take care that water is important. Yeah, it's important for human and animal to drink and survive. For animals to live in it. Yeah, and don't forget the plant. The plant needs water to grow. So it's very important for the plant, my dear students, to what? To grow. Okay, let's move to another point which is very important and you want to take care of it. What are the uses of water? Water is important? Yeah, it's important to use it. Use it? Yeah. We can use water for preparing food, for bathing, for cleaning, for traveling, and also for manufacturing. So, water is important in making food, in bathing, cleaning, traveling, and manufacturing in many industries. Okay, now, my dear students, in this concept and in this activity, we studied the types of sphere, we studied the uses of water, we start to know the difference between these spheres. Now, let's solve the exercises for the first week from the assessment book. Start with the classroom performance. Now, look at these pictures. You can find, yeah, which type of sphere represent the first picture. Yeah, guess that's like a gas. So, it's atmosphere. The second one, you can see it's an animal, plant, and also human. So it represents the biosphere. Now, what about this picture? You can find water. So it's hydrosphere. Finally, what is this? Yeah, it's rocks, mountains. So it's geosphere. Now, if I ask you a question, does the total amount of water on Earth change? And clarify your answers. My dear student, take care that the total amount of water on Earth does not change. Even its state change from liquid to or from liquid to gas. The state change, but the total amount does not change. And we can recycle water, but we can't make new water. We can recycle it, but we can't make new water. Okay? Now let's solve the home performance. Complete the following statement. Water represents what type sphere? We can read the word water, so it's hydrosphere. The next one, organisms represent which type of sphere organisms are living. Yeah, so it's a biosphere. Plant need water to, my dear students, plant and me and you and also all animals need water to grow. Correct the underlined word. Water turn from liquid to solid by it's a liquid and it changes to the solid. Of course, it takes place by what? Cooling. And the human are part of what? Humans biosphere. The total amount of water on Earth. Yeah, it change or course it's constant and does not change. The next one, what are the uses of water in our life? The uses of water, there are many types of use. Yeah, like what? Preparing, bathing, cleaning, traveling, and also manufacturing. The next one, let's solve the assessment in your assessment. First week assessment, yeah. Water turn from liquid to solid by cooling. And the opposite from liquid to solid by what? course, it's by heating, my dear student. Correct the underlying word. Plants need water to carry out the process of plant need water. Plant need water to do what? To do process or to grow. And water cover about 50% of the earth. Is this percentage true? Of course not. It's 71%. The next, give reason the importance of water for the life of living organisms. Why water is very important? That's for three reasons. Take care for this question as it's repeated in the three assessments for the first week. Water is important because human and animal drink water to survive. Also, plants need water to grow. Animals and plant live in water. The next question, or the last one in the first test, what happens if the water change from state to another? Yeah, relative to total quantity. What about the total quantity? Total quantity does not change. Let's move to the next one. My dear student, complete the following, or the ecosystem consists of what? That's from grade 4, my dear student. Ecosystem consists of living organisms and non-living things interact with each other. And this year we studied, inshallah, how they interact with each other. Correct? The underline. Water turned into ice by course cooling. The total amount of water on Earth. Yeah, is it change? Of course, it does not change. The next one. Why? The importance of water for life. For life? Yeah, because human and animal drink water. Plant need water. Some animal live in water. Okay? I think it's easy now. The next one. What happened if the water disappeared from the Earth's surface? Now, no water on the Earth. No water? Yeah, it disappear. The life on Earth will disappear. So, no life on Earth, as all living organisms need water to survive and grow. Let's move to the last test for the first week. Complete the following. Water turned from solid to liquid. Now it's a salt. It changes into the liquid. That takes place by what? By heating. The underlined word. River are considered to be from the earth. River, my dear students, it's hydrosphere. And water is transformed from solid to the gas by heating. The next one. What the importance of the water for life, not only the plant or the human. For life, you must try for human, for animal, and animal, for plant, and also what with animal and live in water. Human animal drink, plant to grow. Some animals and the plant live in water. What happens if the water change from state relative to quantity? Yeah, the quantity does not change. The total quantity remains constant. Now, let's check your understand with small questions. Let's start with choose the correct answer. The Earth's system, which contain mountains. Mountains? Yeah, it must be geosphere. Which sentence of the following describe the atmosphere? Which one represent atmosphere? Atmosphere, the gases which surround the Earth. Not plant, plant biosphere, rocks, geosphere, water also hydrosphere. So the gases, what, my dear students, it's what? It's atmosphere. The next one, which of the following is a part of biosphere? Part of biosphere, we need living organism. So we will choose animal. Water is used in all the following purposes. We can use water for recreation, for bathing, for manufacturing. But can you use water for burning? Of course not. With it put off fires, not for burning. Rocks are broken down into small particles during what process? Rocks break down. The word breakdown comes with weathering. Yeah, not photosynthesis. And the word transported from place to another by erosion. And photosynthesis, respiration, biological process by living organisms. Okay, now let's answer. Give a reason for the following. Water can affect the non-living things like rocks. How water affect rocks? Water affect the rocks by what? By weathering and erosion. Yeah, so we answer that water can cause weathering and erosion of rocks on the Earth's surface. The next one, our planet, which is called the Earth, looks like a blue marble from the space. It's blue from the space. Why? Because nearly a quarter of the Earth is covered by water. Now, my dear students, we finished our session for today. Waiting for you, inshallah, in the next session, and we'll continue the first concept in the second curriculum. See you soon, inshallah. Wa assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.